The Florida Joint Center for Citizenship presents Qualifications for National or Federal Office. On Election Day, voters are handed a ballot that usually includes more than one contest. Oftentimes, citizens cast their vote for candidates in races for national, state, and local offices. For each race, there is a list of candidates. Now, candidates are people running for a specific office. In this video, we'll learn about the qualifications necessary to run for national or federal office. In general, official requirements for running for political office can be sorted into a few categories: age, citizenship, residency, or where someone lives, and term limits, which is how many terms a person can hold the same office. After watching this video, you'll be able to identify the constitutional qualifications to run for national or federal office. So let's get started. The requirements for federal or national political offices, President, U.S. Senator, and U.S. Representative, are outlined in the United States Constitution. Let's begin with the office of the President. According to the U.S. Constitution, a person running for president must meet the following qualifications: be at least 35 years old. It must also be a natural-born citizen. A natural-born citizen is a person born in the United States or born to at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen. They must also have lived in the United States for at least 14 years, and he or she can serve for 2 4-year terms. Now, keep in mind that the Constitution does not list specific qualifications for the Vice President. However, the Vice President may become President if the President dies, resigns, or is removed from office. So the Vice President must meet the same requirements as the President. Let's check in. Using this chart, identify the qualifications under the Constitution for the presidency. Answer: to be president, you must be 35 years old, a natural-born citizen, lived in the United States for 14 years, and you can serve 2 4-year terms. Well done! Let's recap what we've learned so far. The U.S. Constitution outlines the requirements to run for federal political offices. To run for the presidency, a person must be at least 35 years old, a natural-born citizen, and lived in the United States for at least 14 years. A president may only serve 2 4-year terms. Now that we know the constitutional requirements to run for president, let's take a look at the constitutional requirements to run for the U.S. Senate and U.S. House of Representatives. As with the presidency, the U.S. Constitution sets the following requirements for candidates running for U.S. Senate: be at least 30 years old, be a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years, live in the state that they are running to represent, and they can serve an unlimited number of times for a 6-year term. Now let's look at the other House of Congress, the U.S. House of Representatives. The U.S. Constitution sets the following requirements for candidates to run for the U.S. House of Representatives. They must be at least 25 years old, be a U.S. citizen for at least 7 years, live in the state that they represent, but interestingly, they do not have to live in the district they want to represent, and they can serve an unlimited number of times for a 2-year term. Let's check in. Using this chart, identify the constitutional requirements for the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives. So let's go ahead and check our chart. To be a senator, you have to be 30 years old, a citizen for at least 9 years, live in the state you're running to represent, and have no term limits, but you can serve a 6-year term each time. Candidates for the U.S. House of Representatives must be 25 years old, a citizen for 7 years, live in the state, though not necessarily the district, they're running to represent, and have no term limits, but you can serve a 2-year term each time. Did you get them all? Well done. Let's recap what we've learned about running for Congress. The U.S. Constitution outlines the requirements to run for federal or national political offices. To run for the Senate, you must be 30 years old, a citizen for 9 years, and live in the state you're running to represent. And a senator serves a 6-year term without term limits. To run for the House of Representatives, you must be 25 years old, a citizen for 7 years, and live in the state, but not necessarily the district, you're running to represent. And a representative serves a 2-year term without term limits. And after all this, now we understand the constitutional qualifications for national or federal office. Good job. Ultimately, when citizens get ready to vote on election day, it's up to them to decide which candidate that is qualified under the Constitution will do the best job. And by doing so, they engage in one of their most important civic responsibilities of informed voting. Thanks for watching. This video is produced by Florida Joint Center for Citizenship at the Lou Frye Institute staff. Have a great day.